Stalking and domestic violence are serious issues that affect millions of men and women every year.
It's a very serious problem. It affects 1 in 6 women and 1 in 19 men during their lifetime. These numbers are so low because instances of domestic abuse and stalking usually go unreported. I have a cousin who whose name I will leave out, as I will leave out the name of the man involved due to safety reasons. She is 16 years old, and over the summer she worked at McDonald's for some extra money on the side. She wasn't usually in the kitchen. She normally worked the drive-through window, the first one where you get your money, you pay for the chicken nuggets you just bought. One day, a man drove by and came through the drive-through. It was just an ordinary day. He ordered something to eat. She took his money, gave him his change, and that was that. A week later, the same man shows up. He goes through the drive-through, sees that she is working, and refuses to leave. He tries to get her to come outside into his truck. He refuses to leave the drive-through window. He says very bad things to her. Now, keep in mind, she is 16 years old. The manager of the store grabs her and locks her in to the cooling area where they keep all the food. And while my cousin is locked back there, he is starting to console the man and calm him down and get him to pull away from the drive-through. Finally, he does. During this, my cousin was texting her boyfriend. He shows up, and this man is trying to fight his way around the manager into the store to get to my cousin. Her boyfriend and the manager keep him from getting inside. The man swings at my cousin's boyfriend, and my cousin's boyfriend beats the man up and holds him down until police arrive. When they get into his truck, they find chains, rope, and a letter saying that he was in love with her and that he wanted to kidnap her. He had met her once and had followed her and learned her work schedule so that he could be there when she was working. Stalking can happen no matter if they know you, if you trust them, if you're friends with them. You can meet someone one time and they can become obsessed and stalk you. This was a happy story with a happy ending. The man was arrested and went to trial and was convicted, and my cousin is safe. Because my cousin is a minor, he will not be getting out of jail for a while, thankfully. But stalking is scary, and it can happen to you no matter who you are. So be careful.
About 1 in 4 women and 1 in 7 men have experienced severe violence by an intimate partner. Many of us know someone who has been a victim of domestic violence. I'm going to share a story of someone who's closely related to me. Her name is going to be changed for safety purposes. Let's just call her Maria. Maria was in the 11th grade when she met this amazing guy. He was beautiful, had a great job, and seemed really interested in her. They hit it off and began dating, and by her summer of her junior year, or her summer after her junior year, she found herself married to him. They moved in together, and that's when things started to change. Soon, Mike began breaking Maria's trophies, her cheerleading trophies, and degrading her, telling her she was worthless, and many other things. He wouldn't allow anyone in the house unless he was there, and she couldn't go anywhere other than school. Maria ended up missing a lot of school, and when she did come to school, her sister noticed that she would always wear long sleeves, and the reason was because she was covering up the bruises, because the violence had escalated to where he was beating her on a regular basis. Thankfully, Maria's family, she had a very pushy sister who was there for her and got Maria to confide in her, and Maria's family came and took her away from this bad man and this bad situation. They got the marriage annulled, and Maria now has a wonderful life. She has a beautiful child, and she's married, but not all stories in like Maria's.
Domestic violence and stalking are more common than you might think. More than 1 in 3 women and more than 1 in 4 men in the United States have experienced rape, physical violence, and/or stalking by an intimate partner in their lifetime. Though men experience domestic abuse and stalking too, the victims are mainly women. 1 out of every 3 women will be abused at some point in her life. Battering is the single major cause of injury to women, exceeding rapes, muggings, and auto accidents combined. A woman is more likely to be killed by a male partner or former partner than any other person. About 4,000 women die each year due to domestic violence. Of the total domestic violence homicides, about 75% of the victims were killed as they attempted to leave the relationship or after the relationship had ended. 1 in every 6 U.S. women and 1 of every 19 U.S. men have been stalked in their lifetime. Nearly 3 out of 4 victims of stalking know their stalkers in some capacity. The most common relationship between the victim and perpetrator is a current or former intimate partner. Although stalking is a crime in all 50 states, less than 1/3 of states classify stalking as a felony if it is a first offense, leaving stalking victims without protections afforded to victims of other violent crimes. 54% of femicide victims reported stalking to the police before they were killed by their stalkers. There are many ways that you can help domestic violence and stalking victims. Encourage your legislators to tighten stalking statutes so that stalking is both easier to prosecute and classified as a more serious crime. While helping all victims is the goal, helping local victims might be easier for you individually. Encourage local schools and youth programs to train teachers, school counselors, and athletic coaches to recognize children and teens who are in violent situations. Provide educators with resources and prepare them to intervene in domestic violence, dating violence, and stalking situations. Support programs in your community aimed at increasing domestic violence, sexual violence, and stalking education, prevention, and intervention. If someone you know is going through domestic abuse, these are some things you can do that will help them. Ask about the violence and the emotional coercion. Support them telling their story again and again. Acknowledge the courage in telling. Find their strengths and point them out to them. Build upon their hopes, dreams, and plans for the future. Rebuild their social support network or create an alternative network that is trustworthy. Stick with them, even when you get frustrated. Build their knowledge of options and advocate for them. Provide concrete assistance. Take an active concern and help their plan for their safety. Respect their choices. Only they live with the consequences. Let them maintain control. Collaborate with other services that can help them. Work actively with them. If you are being abused or stalked, here are some resources for you. Contact is a rape crisis center located in Huntington, West Virginia. It was founded in 1970, so it has been helping victims for over 40 years. Their number is 304-399-1111. Branches is a domestic violence shelter in Huntington. Their number is 304-529-2383. If you are not local to this area, you can call these free national hotlines instead.
Yeah. Oh, they give sugars. They give sugars. They love each other. We get it. Yes, you love her so much. There's got to be a way to eliminate sound on this video. Casper.